Why do all these resellers know about this spot right next to the massage parlor?
I don't know.
There's a group of resellers here in Tulsa, bro. They're AI people, bro.
It was him being mad at me for something I felt was good for the business.
Yeah.
Me being honestly kind of jealous of him living out my dream here in the store while I'm trying to financially back it. Take that Packers shirt off before we start.
Why, you don't like the Packers?
You like this passionate, passionate Packer hater.
Passionate Packer hater?
I'm a Steelers fan, bro. And, 2012, whatever?
Yeah.
Y'all waxed us in that Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't even like the Packers.
Can't let it go.
I just like the shirt.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yo, what is up with you guys? Everybody hates Jabber. We are back, guys. Season 2 is in full effect, guys. We are streaming on all platforms. So anywhere you guys listen to your podcast, whether that be Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all those good places, you guys can go and check us out. Just type in Everybody Hates Jabber, and we are streaming, guys. Let's go. Season 2. I'm super excited for that. This is Season 2, the first episode of Season 2.
Hell yeah.
So you're kicking off the season, man, with the Racks. You guys see it here. You know what I'm saying? We've got the owner-operator of the Racks. So go ahead, man. Just go ahead and just introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, what you do, you know.
All right. Shaun Matthews.
Gotcha.
I basically run the Racks. I mean, I started this thing a little over 2 years ago with a good amount of help, not gonna lie. And now it's just rolling, man. I collect vintage. I sell vintage.
Everything vintage.
Yeah, man. It's life.
Sleep,
it's
die,
life.
vintage, huh?
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, this is true, man. That is true. And, you know, that's funny because a lot of the people that are really heavy into vintage, you can definitely tell that it is like a lifestyle for them, you know?
It consumes you, man.
Yeah.
It's like an obsessive personality type.
Right.
Just like anyone you meet that's successful at all, at any level of this game, has obsessive personality traits.
Yeah.
And everyone.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, man. Like, how do you think that started? You know what I mean? Like, when did that obsessiveness start for you?
Man, I don't know. I think I got my first computer when I was like 10 years old. And I started doing graphic design. I started building websites and stuff.
Yeah.
And my mom would have to like pry me off the computer because I'd be, bloodshot eyes at 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
She'd find me at 4:30 in the morning, just like, I have to finish this one last design or this one last web page. And like, I just couldn't stop, addicted to it. Or video games, playing Halo as a kid or whatever.
Dude, Halo was that shit, bro.
Halo was the shit.
Halo was that. Dude, in my opinion, bro, because I'm not really like super into video games now, but whenever I was younger, I liked video games a lot, bro. Halo is the top game of all time for me.
GoldenEye for the N64. Dude, I go back, like, I'm a little bit older.
I played a lot of Nintendo 64. I didn't play that game, though. I ain't gonna lie. But like
Mario
007.
3 was my shit.
Which one?
Mario 3 was my shit.
Yeah?
Yeah. 007. Yeah, GoldenEye.
Okay. Is that okay? Maybe I did play that one.
That was like
bro.
the OG, like, first-person shooter. Like,
yes, bro. That shit used to go hard, bro. And that's funny that you say that, like, about, like, just being so obsessed that you were, like, bloodshot, bro. I remember my little cousin, bro. He's still a gamer to this day, but back then, whenever he was a kid, oh my gosh, dude, the kid was diehard gamer. And this kid, I remember one day, he's sitting there playing the game, and he's like doing all this. He just keeps moving.
Gotta pee.
And I'm like, Cedrais, I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I gotta pee. And I'm like, bro, if you don't put that game down and go pee, bro.
Bro, I've known legit like kids that had bottles in their room and they'd piss in like Gatorade bottles because they couldn't stop playing.
Just won't stop playing.
Multiplayer online, you can just pause it.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Which that kind of had me talk about. That kind of reminds me of some of the topics that I have for you. So we're kind of gonna get off topic a little bit here, but what was it like, bro? Like, you are someone that has went through that whole entire stage. Like, you went through like when there was no internet, to where pretty much like whenever the first computer started coming out, and now till today, like with all the stuff that we have. Like, talk about like how how far we've came in advancement. You
just dated me before the internet, bro. I'm just gonna walk up. Like, I'm not 80 years old.
When did the internet come out? Like,
I don't know. Al Gore invented the internet in like 93 or something.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was in like the 80s or whatever.
Yeah, no.
But I think it became like popular to the internet.
I'm giving you shit, but like my family legit, I think in Collinsville, we were like one of the first families that had internet out there. And dude, I was hustling as a kid in like middle school.
Yeah.
After I got my first like CD burner, I was selling like burnt CDs, you know, and stuff like that. Just like hustling that stuff because nobody else had the internet. And like, how'd you get all this music? Like, it's out in Collinsville, you know, it's like the internet is, I don't know, it's like horse and buggy town almost. Like, real talk.
They probably still be riding chariots.
I think they do. They got their first car like 2 years ago.
Dang, bro, Collinsville people are about to roast me now, bro. They're gonna hate this pod, bro. They can turn it off, never watching it again. That is funny, bro. So anyway, man, I'm gonna get back to the topics at hand. You know, so back to like the vintage and stuff. Like, also, you know, like, a lot of this stuff now that a lot of people are liking are like from like the 90s and stuff, right? That's kind of like, would you say it's kind of more the most popular vintage pieces, like stuff from the 90s, or what era?
Mean, here, it all depends on your market. You know, like Oklahoma City, they're pushing a lot of true vintage and stuff like that. I personally don't care about it as a 90s kid, you know, as a teenager in the 90s. Slipknot, Korn, like all those band T-shirts is what I had as a kid. And that's what I love. It kind of reminds me of just being a kid and all that. So it's the most popular thing we sell here for sure, 90s stuff. 100%.
And that was going to be my question. Like, do you remember kind of having some of those tees and stuff? Like, probably not even thinking nothing of it. Like, this is just a T-shirt that I just like. I think it's cool. I like the band. I'm going to rock it. And now here we are 20, 30 years later, and it's like $60, $70, $80, $100, $200 shirt, even more, you know. Like, talk about that a little bit, like just kind of seeing that go from being just a regular T-shirt to a vintage piece.
Like I said, like I had, you know, I was into all that new metal stuff, Korn, Limp Bizkit, all that. I had Slipknot shirts, I had Korn shirts. When I first opened the store, actually shortly before I opened the store, I was doing pop-ups and all that. I went back to my mom's house just to see if there was anything in the closet in my old room, and I'm like, Korn, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit.
Wow.
I still have probably 4 or 5 shirts that I wore in high school.
Wow.
And, you know, 90s kids, we were wearing like, and it's back now, but like oversized stuff. I graduated high school weighing like 120 pounds, and I was wearing extra large T-shirts. You know, like a goon.
Yeah, that is true. And like, I mean, luckily, like, I mean, we are like in a baggy kind of you know era right now, but it's not like that early 2000s, late 90s baggy where it's like you got 3-4X white tees. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. Yeah, and the Jinkos. That's when Jinkos came out.
Yeah,
kids were coming to school wearing Jinkos that are like, each leg's as big around as a trash can.
Bro, that's crazy.
Smuggling fruit across the border with those jeans. What are you doing? Huge clothes in the 90s.
So like that was like kind of like what the clothing scene was like back then and stuff. But like, what, like, did they have vintage stuff back then too? Like, was there a scene for vintage at all?
We started messing around in high school with like going to the thrift stores and finding like vintage like nature T-shirts and kind of wearing them ironically. You buy it for 50 cents and it's got a big goofy moose or elk or whatever, deer. You know, so I mean, we were messing with like, you know, old 80s nature tees and stuff in the late 90s.
But then it was just kind of more like something fun to do, like not really anything like serious or anything.
I don't want to act like our generation or the current vintage scene invented vintage. You know, in high school there's a girl out here, Kristen, that owned Cheap Thrills Vintage, and we used to go there every once in a while. She'd have like old band tees from the 70s and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's been popular. It's just COVID blew it up, man. Everyone knows COVID blew it up.
Like, I heard about vintage a little bit, you know, but tiny bits. And like you said, there's probably like those type of like Cheap Thrills type of vintage that you just see, you know, kind of passing on the roads. But like around that same time where like COVID and stuff, like it just became crazy. Like, I even kind of got into it a whole lot, and I'm like, I mean, you guys see I'm rocking the vintage today, but it's just like, bro, you're right, bro. It's easy to be consumed in it, you know? Like, every time now when I go to events and stuff, like, because the good thing about vintage is you can pick up a dope shirt for $40-$50, you know, where, like, your shoes, you know, it's hard to get a pair of shoes for less than $200, you know, a good pair of shoes, so it became like easy for me to go to these events and like instead of buying a shoe at every event, you know, it's like, oh, I can at least get a vintage tee, you know what I mean, and like go home with something, you know, that like, oh, I got this from this event or I got that from that event. So that's a cool thing about vintage, you know, and it kind of allows you to tie a memory to a
sure.
piece of clothing, you know?
Yeah, the nostalgia is why it's special, man.
Right.
People come in here, we our bread and butter is like high school kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we'll have 50, 60-year-old guy or woman or whatever come in with their kids or grandkids even, and they start looking at the Bantees, and they've always got stories. Oh, I saw them in '85, and it's like, go off, let's hear it.
Dude, yeah, bro. Same thing with the shoes at the shop, man. Whenever people come in there all the time, they're like, man, this is so crazy, man. I used to have these back in '88 when I was a kid, or I used to have those. It's funny, though, whenever they point out something that's like a new release that like never came out back then. They're like, I used to have those. And I'm like, bro, those came out last year. That's just funny. But what was life like for you back in those days, man? Like, what was a young Shaun doing in like '97? You know, that's the year I was born, you know? So like, what was kind of life like for you growing up? So you grew up in Collinsville, right? Or where'd you?
Yeah, 97, I would have been like 13, 14 years old. No cars back then, horse and buggy. No, we were too young to have our driver's license. We pretty much just like ran around downtown Collinsville, just like causing chaos, man. We were sneaking into our girlfriends' windows, and just all that stupid stuff, and then playing video games.
You got any crazy stories about sneaking in girls' windows? Because I got a crazy story about sneaking in girls' windows.
Not super crazy.
Crazy.
My girlfriend in high school was on the second floor, and we like just figuring out how to like climb up the like carport and then get up on the roof, and then I guess one time her dad kind of thought or figured something out and tried coming up the stairs or whatever, and I had to like jump off the roof, but nothing crazy.
Nothing too crazy.
Bro,
one time, bro, I was, and this is the messed up part, bro. I wasn't even going out there for like the girl. Like, I was just young. I was with my buddy, and he was like, oh, I'm going to go out to this girl's house. Do you want to go with me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, yeah, we're going to drink a little, smoke a little. So I'm like, chill, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. So we get to riding bikes out there, and it's way out in the country, bro. Yeah. We're riding bikes out there. It's in South Coffeyville, Oklahoma. And we're riding. We get kind of close to the area, and he's like, he goes, here in about a block or so, he's like, there's this house, and they've got two big dogs, bro. Like, they're mean dogs, bro. He's like, sometimes they're on chains, sometimes they're not. You know what I mean? Like, if they're not on chains, be ready to go. And I'm just like, God damn. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. So we go by, bro. We go there. And, like, we get past their house, and here comes the dogs. Like, you can hear them, bro. They sound mean, like rabies-infested type dogs, bro. They're on chains, you know what I mean? It's all good. We're like, oh, okay, thank God. So we go out there. We hang out. We come back, bro. This time, we're not even thinking about it, because last time they were on chains, we went out there at 10 o'clock at night, you know what I mean? Coming back at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, they should still be on chains, right? No, bro, the same thing, bro. The dogs come running at us, bro. This time they're not on chains, bro. And my homie is just like, go, they're not on chains. And we just start pedaling, bro. And I am like, these dogs are on our heels, bro. You just like, you look back and you could just see them, big old nasty teeth, bro. Just rah, rah, rah. And my freaking homie's chain pops, bro. His freaking chain pops, bro. I don't know why, bro, but like luckily, like at the time that his chain popped, like he did get bit by the dog, like on his ankle a little bit. It just kind of barely got him though. But like right at that same time, like the dogs like kind of stopped and like turned around, bro. I didn't stop, bro. I kept going, bro.
You just ditched the homie, just left him.
I'm not about to get mauled by dogs.
No.
I'm not getting mauled by dogs in South Coffeyville, Oklahoma,
no sense
bro.
in both of you getting mauled.
Bro, I'm the only black kid here, bro. That's a hate crime if I get mauled by dogs, man. Like, I'm getting out of here, man.
Man, I guess there was a time it was snowing, and I left my girlfriend's house at probably 1:30 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember I'm driving, it's real icy and everything, and this is kind of an embarrassing story, but it's cool. I'm like, man, I have to pee so bad. And I'm driving, I'm having to go all slow because there's ice everywhere. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. And there's a church up here, and I thought like, oh, big open parking lot, all that. I'm gonna just pull over and pee. And I remember thinking like, is peeing on the side of a church, like, is that kosher with the Lord or whatever?
Bro, I would definitely think the same thing. Like, man, am I gonna get in trouble for this?
And so,
can this keep me out of heaven?
Long story short, it's not kosher. I found that out the hard way. But I pull over and I hop out of my car and I'm unbuttoning my pants and everything. And the next thing I know, I wake up. I slipped on the ice, hit my head, knocked me out, pissed all over my pants, and then woke up and like had like this like pee slushy in my pants going on. Like, what the hell just happened, man? So yeah, don't
dick out and all.
Don't pee on churches,
bro. I really that's messed up. Maybe that was God like telling you like, don't pee on my ground.
Mm-mm.
That's
yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh, man. So you've lived now, like, you were born in what year were you born, if you don't mind telling the people? 83? So you lived in the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, the 10s. What decade, like, do you think was the most poppin'?
Man, it's hard to say because, like, the 80s probably,
but
I
you didn't really get to grow. Like, you were probably, like, a little kid,
and shit like that.
Right.
But seems like the 80s would have been crack, like
poppin'.
Billy Idol and David Bowie, like all that. But I mean, for me, teenage years, of course, the 90s were dope. And then, you know, I turned 21 and, you know, started drinking at like 24 and everything. So the 2000s were like the funnest time for me.
The fun times, yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd probably say late 90s, just everything was popping off. And the internet was like fairly new and people are figuring out how to connect. And now we're spoiled with that. I mean, you can... You know,
real,
it's on your phone.
Dude, now it's to the point where people live on the internet. Like, I mean, especially like with the metaverse and stuff, bro. Like, people are literally becoming so consumed with the internet that like they spend, not only do they spend more time on the internet, but they have a whole nother life that's not even them, bro. Like, they're not even going by their real name. Like, you know, they're a totally different person in real life. They're, you know what I'm saying, 5'8", 350-pound, you know what I'm saying, chode that lives at home with his parents, you know what I mean? But in the metaverse, he's 6'6", you know what I'm saying, chiseled, 250, you know what I mean? Like, got all the girls, a millionaire, you know? It's crazy that, like, I mean, it's cool that it's came that far that we're able to, like, maybe, you know, use it to our advantage and, like, use it to see, like, this is what your life could be, you know what I mean, if you got up and done something with yourself. But it's like, instead, people are taking it to the point where it's like, they're just immersing themselves into this fake life that's not even real.
Well, for every technology, every piece of technology that you can do something great with, there's 1,000 people doing something stupid
bad with
it. So, you know.
And we've talked about that a lot here on the pod too, like, especially with AI being so big right now and stuff.
I'm an AI conspiracy theorist a little
like
bit,
what, bro? What do you think, bro?
I'm just going to sound crazy and stupid on your pod, but I'm 100% convinced that there's like AI people already, like, dude, like walking around just integrating, man.
Bro, I'm not going to throw no names out there. But, bro, I'm just going to say this. There's a group of resellers here in Tulsa, bro. They're AI people, bro. They are AI robots, bro. I'll tell you who they are after we get
I already know. Just probably by the voices. It's like, yeah, bro. Like, one of the homies has, like, the deepest voice. I said something to him the other day. He came in. I was like, bro, every time I hear your voice, it like, freaks me. I turn around thinking you're going to be some, like, 6'8" monster.
Dude,
and you're just like,
robots, bro. Robots, bro. I be joking with my girl all the time. Like, every time I'm like, yeah, I seen the robots today.
I love them. Like,
they're cool.
Nicest, like, well-mannered, courteous.
Very well,
like amazing people.
Yeah, but definitely
they
robots.
Could be AI. I'll ask them. They'll tell me.
Dude, ask them for me, bro. You can honestly tell them, like, Jay asked, like, are y'all robots?
Yeah. I was telling no more steals until you admit you're AI, bro.
Admit it, bro. Yeah. Admit it here, right now. And film it, too, so I can drop it in the pod.
They won't let me film it. They'll probably, like, fry my phone or something.
That's true, bro. That's true. Damn, bro. I'm loving this pod already, bro.
In Dallas, JCB and I, Jacob, shoe guy, we were driving around. We went to a couple vintage stores and some sneaker stores and stuff.
Yeah.
And we saw this homeless dude, right? And then we're way miles down the road and see this dude. And I'm like, that guy got the same jar, that's the same. It's got to be the same dude. And then we were driving somewhere else. I saw a guy that looked just like him again. And I was like, Jake, this is what I'm talking about, Jake. This is the AI homeless people, dude, like spying or something.
Bro.
Like, I'm kidding, of course. I'm not that deep into it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It really wouldn't surprise me. Dude, I think, honestly, bro, like, with the advancement of AI, bro, if the public advancement is as far as it is now, the secret advancement has got to be way beyond it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's got to be way beyond it, bro, because they don't give it to the public what they don't, you know what I'm saying, haven't known for years. You know what I mean? Like, so if it's as advanced as it is now, bro, It would not surprise me, bro. 100% honest, and I'm not even a big conspiracy theorist like that. It wouldn't surprise me if some shit came out and they found out that people were human, like humans were AIs. Really wouldn't, bro.
You ever check out like the what is it, like Birds Aren't Real website or whatever?
No, but I have seen a lot of people talking about like the pigeons and stuff like that.
It's so funny.
Dude, that shit is funny, bro. They like say they're like secret government agents and shit like that.
Spying on people. That's why they land on the power lines to recharge and all that shit's hilarious.
It wouldn't surprise me, bro. There's some weird shit out there, man. So growing up, like, I guess you didn't really do too much. I mean, you grew up in the 80s, but you were so young and stuff. So do you even remember like when the first Jordans and stuff were released? You were probably only like what, one?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I told you earlier. Like, I'm not a shoe person. I can say like my first memories, because we grew up pretty poor. Like my dad kind of skipped out when I was like 4 or whatever.
Gotcha.
My mom worked a Walmart job, did like the best she could.
Yeah.
Mad respect to my mom.
Right.
Stayed a lot with my grandparents, all that. My early memories of Jordans are like us going down to Dallas to see my grandparents and stuff. And getting the fake Jordans from Trader's Village. Like,
there you go.
I discovered Trader's Village as like a little kid, and that place is popping off.
Dude,
now.
It is, bro. It's still popping now to this day, bro.
Yeah, they got like crazy like vintage stores in Trader's Village.
Really?
And, like,
I haven't been in a long
sneaker
time.
stores in Trader's Village.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out next
It's
time.
worth it. But no, I mean, my mom did work hard and got like. She'd get me some real stuff, but we had the fake stuff too. Like honestly, But I don't remember my first pair. I couldn't tell you what they were.
Your first pair?
My youngest memory of one of my favorite shoes would be like the Ken Griffey Juniors with like the Velcro strap.
Yeah.
And then the Kamikaze, the Shaun Kemps.
I don't know those ones. I do
crazy,
know the Griffies,
like,
though.
Yeah, we can look them up later.
Yeah. You have to show me after.
They re-released them like 6-8 months ago, something like that, I think. Yeah.
They release so much shit, bro. It's hard to keep up with it.
Those were Reeboks, maybe.
Oh, yeah. And, like, that stuff, like, I have no ties to it nostalgically, so, like, I don't keep up with it. Like, the pennies or, like, whenever those come back, everybody's like, oh, pennies. But I'm like, I don't give a damn about them damn things. Like, I don't care. I don't remember these, you know what I mean? So,
my mom has pictures. She sent me pictures of me as a little kid with like the all over print Magic Johnson t-shirt, like stuff, like some crazy heat. Yeah.
Damn.
When I was a little kid, but it was like $10-15 back then.
Right, just a regular old t-shirt.
Just all the Jordan stuff and all that.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So, like, what were you interested in whenever you were a kid? Like, what kind of made you tick, besides, like, was it just all, like, the computer graphics and games and stuff, or what else did you like to do?
That's what I was huge into, was computers and web design and graphic design and stuff like that. And back then, computers being so new and everything, my mom, I really wanted to pursue that, and my mom, wanted the best for me and looking out or whatever, really thought that if I pursue like graphic design, something computer related, she's like, you have to move to New York or like a big city to do this. And then, so I kind of switched and just kind of honestly fumbled through life for a while. But that was my biggest interest as a kid was graphic design. I was obsessed with it.
Right.
Graphic web design and stuff like that.
That was like, that's crazy now. Like looking back on it now, it's like, damn, like I should have, you know what I mean?
Time,
like, but I mean, with all this stuff, like the clothes, the shoes, the graphic, the internet, we never knew that like it was gonna be what it is now. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so many amount of people that know that, and the people that know that already have inside information because they're the ones that are doing AI for years, you know what I mean? So they're way ahead, and they already know to put, their money and their time and whatever in this stuff. But but realistically though, for real, like, just so many people just don't know, you know what I mean? Like, and there's no way to know, that's the crazy thing. Like,
hindsight's 20/20.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, how is what you're doing now different than what you imagined you'd be doing as a kid?
Well, what's funny about that is even though I thought like graphic design and all that, this has been something I wanted to do since I was a teenager. Like,
really?
I always had this silly dream of owning a clothing store from the top, probably 12, 13, maybe 14 years old.
Really?
I always wanted to do it. So right now, I can say that I'm doing almost exactly what I envisioned myself doing at like 13. I really just kind of lost that vision. Everyone's like, you go to high school or whatever, guidance counselors, which are a total joke.
Yeah.
You need to do this. You need to learn a trade. You need to do. I want to start a clothing store. No, that's stupid. You can't do that. Do this, do this, do this. And, I spent 3 decades of my life not doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah. What kind of stuff did you do before?
My first job was research. I worked there all through high school, and after then I joined the Air Force Reserves.
Oh, okay.
And I got a job at Home Depot and worked there for 7 years. Worked at Lowe's for 8 years.
Yeah.
Like pretty much home improvement. Pretty much was my my last job that I quit to do this full time.
Yeah.
Was selling bath remodels for a local company.
Gotcha.
But it's just not, I mean, it's rewarding. You get people, their house is their kingdom.
Yeah.
Your home's your kingdom.
Right.
Helping people maintain that and improve it, and that's a dream in itself. Like, it was rewarding to an extent, but it wasn't where my heart was.
Well, exactly.
And I was doing pop-ups and some form of clothing hustle almost my entire life.
Right.
Like, as a side gig.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I've kind of been the same way too, bro. Like, I'm kind of where, like, I can say that, like, right now I'm doing, in a form, something that I wanted to do as a kid. Because for me, like, sitting there watching Disney Channel, watching Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and all those shows, like, I'm like, I want to be on TV. Like, that would be so cool to be able to be in these TV shows and stuff, And so, like, now I'm not, like, on a TV show or anything, but, like, in a sense, I'm still on TV. You know what I mean?
You're
you
on
can watch
screen, bro.
Yeah, dude. You can watch YouTube right on your TV. So I'll be posting sometimes. I'll like take a picture of me on YouTube. I'll like play my video and I'll post it. I'll be like, "Mama, I'm on TV." That's funny.
That's dope. Love it.
But so let's get into like the Racks. Like, how did you come up with the the Racks? How did this come to be?
I guess it goes way back to like that kind of dream and the graphic design thing. I was doing graphic design and I started making like t-shirt designs for like local bands and traveling bands and people like that. And I just asked them like, hey, when you get this printed, will you send me one?
Yeah.
And I collected those, and when I talk about it, it's almost narcissistic. Like I collected my own t-shirts that I designed, but I just wanted it as like a memory, a souvenir or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just needing more inspiration for the designs and everything. I can't just go to Hot Topic, look at other band tees and copy that.
Right.
I guess you can, but I started going to thrift stores. My buddy Jeffrey, like I said, he used to go and buy, like, ironically, the shirt with a moose on it and everything.
Yeah.
So he's like, dude, just go to the thrift store and look at all the goofy, weird stuff that you see, because it's everything.
Right.
And so I started just picking up shirts at the thrift store for more inspiration. And it just piled into this, again, obsession over T-shirts and T-shirt designs. And I started designing, like, kind of my own brands with friends, stuff like that. And then I just realized, like, I'm drawing inspiration from all this old stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe the old stuff's really just what I like.
Yeah.
And so I started just collecting vintage. And then it became, like, hoarding vintage. And then so I was like, I gotta sell some of this, get rid of this, or I'm gonna be one of those people on TV. So I started selling it, started doing I love hoarder shows.
Oh, like, dude, me too. We watch it all the time.
We can talk about that for hours. That's a whole nother podcast.
Right.
But I started like trading I'd go to the thrift store and find something sick, but it'd be like a size small or medium or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started picking it up, trading, selling, started doing pop-ups. I found out about like some flea markets that were kind of hip and all that. Started doing pop-ups, and then I would anything I do, I just like just pour I obsess over it, and I just pour myself into it. And so I was doing these elaborate setups to where everyone was like, dude, when are you going to start a store? When are you going to? And I just started hearing it. And I'm like, man, this is the dream I had when I was a kid, and now people are asking me to do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of have goosebumps talking about that.
Yeah.
But like, people want me to do it.
Yeah.
They want me to live my dream.
Right.
And that was nuts. And so I was like, I actually met Davis at a pop-up that was just a total bomb.
Yeah.
And we hung out one day, and that day, and I think we were just drinking and smoking and whatever. We weren't even hardly selling anything. There's no one coming to it. And I was like, man, I'm thinking about starting this store, yada, yada, yada. And I found this just, dump of a spot. You've been to our old spot.
Yeah, the original
just
location.
Little hole in the wall. Closet, moldy closet.
But you made it work though.
We made it work.
Yeah, you made that shit work.
I had a vision, and I was like, we're gonna accomplish the vision,
Yeah.
And Davis was like, yeah, I'll help, whatever. And I had a couple people. Noah was helping. Matt, Big Body, came down and helped clean and junk like that. And we opened it doing, couple 2 or 3 days a week. The original intent was more of like a weekend showroom type thing.
Got you.
It just snowballed from there, man, into this is kind of a monster at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Man, and kudos to you for that, man, because, a lot of people have a lot of dreams, but a lot of people just are a little bit too scared to go for it, They don't want to risk, the security that they have to go for the dream that they have. So kudos to you for, taking that step out there and actually chasing that dream. What do you think gave you that bravery to like actually do it? What do you think it was, the people that were like kind of putting you in your ear, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? That kind of gave you that bravery, or what do you think gave you that?
Yeah, for sure. It was a combination of a few things. It was, all the people like, man, you can do it. You can do it. You have such great stuff. You have so much stuff, blah, blah, blah. And just people pushing.
Right.
And, that and just a combination of I'm not gonna lie, man, like depression and just doing something that I was like, I don't like this. I don't like what I do. This does not fulfill me.
Dude, that's so real, bro.
And I like I said, we found that little kind of shithole, if we're being honest, and it was cheap enough that I was like pretty low risk.
Yeah.
We opened it with, of course, I had my hoard of clothes, but I opened that thing with less than $10K, and I felt like Davis was kind of the same way. He wasn't happy doing what he was doing. I was like, man, maybe I can put someone on, and it just, I just pulled the trigger, man, and there were times it was scary. It was like, this isn't going to work. This was stupid, but I never had a ton into it, so I wouldn't have been totally screwed if it failed.
If it did fail,
I would have been heartbroken, but
exactly, and we'll come back to this, but I do kind of want to get off a little bit, just from you talking about like being depressed and stuff, because that is so real, bro. Like a lot of times, a lot of these people out there, they're like, they don't know why they're depressed, they don't know why they're sad, and like a lot of it could stem from like what you do on a daily basis. I mean, I know for a while there, like I used to work at Walmart distribution, like when I first moved out on my own and stuff. I was probably like 19, 20 years old. That job made me depressed, bro. Like seriously did. And I ended up going back like not that long ago, just like 6 months ago I was working there again, and like I was starting to get to that point again where I'm like, dude, like I'm starting to lose it, you know what I mean? Like I hate this job so much. And like there was a time, in my life, bro, where like I would get off work, I'd come home, bro, I'd pretty much chill, I'd go to sleep, wake up, do it again. Like I wasn't even showering, you know what I mean? I was showering like once or twice a week, just because I just didn't really feel like it, and like I never really knew that it was depression because like for us, especially in like a black household, you know what I mean? Like mental issues like that just aren't really discussed. We never talked about being depressed.
For sure.
You can't be depressed. You know what I mean? There wasn't what are you depressed about? You know what I mean? Like you got toys, you got this, you ain't nothing to be depressed about. You know what I mean? Like even though I probably was even depressed as a kid because, I would struggle with like my mom. She was, a drug addict and in and out of the house, going to prison and stuff. My dad was never around. So there was plenty of things for me to be depressed about. But in their eyes, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing for you to be depressed about, And honestly, as a kid, I don't really think I really felt like I didn't really have to deal with that a lot, you know what I mean? But growing up, there was times like I probably was depressed and I didn't even realize it because it was just never talked about, But it's good now that like people are more open to talking about it,
for sure.
It's like a casual conversation, and that's what it should be, a casual conversation because it's real and people struggle with it a lot. Yeah,
for sure.
So, but anyway, back to the racks and stuff. Like, what was that first location? How do you think that helped you grow or helped you become, into the monster, like you said, it's became now?
Well, of course, it was a stepping stone. I also feel like we had to be on our A game. When you're in a spot where there's no traffic over there, there's no legitimate sign.
Yeah,
dude, no windows, bro. Like nobody knew what
Nobody's
was going
coming
on
there unless they know they're coming there.
So if someone comes in there, your customer service has to be on point, your attitude has to be on, everything has to be on point because they're already like, this is in the hood. Like, am I about to get cut by one of these weird people? Like, what's going on here? You know? So I think it just sharpened us that we knew what, like, we have to execute every day at 100%. I think was probably the biggest takeaway. I think the second takeaway was just a sense of being able to help people and give advice.
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of, I finally pulled the trigger on my dream like fairly late in life, in late 30s. But it's really like a lot of younger cats, I mean, that have opened stores. I know how many people have opened vintage stores now in Oklahoma since we opened the Racks, dude. And every one of them talks to me in some form for the most part before they do it. And I tell them all, I'm like, bro, if the Racks made it in that spot, you can do it, man. And if you don't do it, big deal. Like, big deal. Go do something else. Right. But I think that it's just like I think that store, I may be giving myself too much credit or us too much credit, but I think that store helped a lot of these kids see that, like, we can do this shit. Because if that crappy location can survive, and I have this, cool brick and mortar with open windows and traffic and all this, surely I can do it.
Right.
So.
Do you think that original location, do you think that would have like had the same success, like say you open that thing today with all the other stores that are out there, or do you think that like success kind of contributed to y'all kind of being some of like the first ones, maybe not like the pioneers? I'm sure there was maybe other people in the area that maybe had, but like y'all were kind of one of the first ones that really started making like a big name and started carrying a lot of the stuff that people are looking for nowadays.
We were, I'm certain we were the OG, like in Tulsa, the OG like t-shirt heavy vintage store.
Right.
There were some other vintage stores and they carried female stuff and all that. And we're like, no, we're just gonna blast you with the dopest t-shirts you've ever seen. I don't know, man. I think that location being such a if you know type thing would succeed no matter what. Just because the curiosity is what made it. Like,
that is true.
Like people are like, "Where'd you get that?" Oh, there's a spot. Like you're probably not going to be able to find it. I mean, we'd have people calling us from outside the front door. Like, I don't know if I'm here or not.
Go outside. They're right there.
Yeah, we open the door and they're right there on the phone. Like,
that's
so.
Funny.
I think I think it helped in a weird way. And like,
it was almost kind of like a speakeasy.
It
like,
was,
bro. Because I remember the first time I pulled up, same kind of thoughts. Like. Where am I at right now? No. Like, babe, lock the car. You know what I mean? We go in, and then you open the door, bro, and it's just like vintage heaven.
The reaction was the same from almost everybody. They open the door, and they're kind of like almost hunched over. Like weird. And they open the door, and their eyes, they're just,
wow.
Whoa. And wow. So many people would say wow.
Right.
And it was just nuts, just being in that little closet, man.
Yeah. What was your original expectation for that store?
I don't know that I had a whole lot of expectations for it. I was like, I can make just enough money to quit my job and not have to work for some dick, then
I'm good.
Let's do it. I was like, if we could make 10 grand here a month, and $3,000 is profit, and I can like live. I'd rather live and be poor than I was at that point where I'm like, I'd rather live and be poor than to do something I hate and have a decent amount of money, like honestly. So my expectations were low. I just knew that I hated where I was at, and I wanted
to change,
do whatever I could to change it.
I feel that too, because I was kind of in that same spot, doing a whole bunch of work, and I've done so many jobs, bro. Like, I'm a whole certified welder, bro. Like, I have a whole welding certification, bro. I mean, it's expired now, but like, I went to school for it and everything, bro. But like, I started getting out there, bro, and working, and I'm just like realizing, bro, like, I hate this. This is not fun. Like, it's decent money, but this is not fun. Like, and just thinking about the thing that really kills me is when I'm at work and I'm hating the day, and all I can think about is the next 40 years. Like, I gotta hate this day for 40 years. No way. I can't do it anymore.
Don't need to do it.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm grateful. Like, I'm very upset that I didn't like pursue these things earlier, because had I started, all this when I was 21, maybe by now, I might be in a better position. But I'm just like, man, I'm just glad that I at least can try now while I'm still young. And if it, like you said, if it doesn't work out, so what? You know what I mean? You can go back. There's something I can fall back on. But I would be remiss if I was 50 years old and I look back and I said, man, I never even tried.
Mm-hmm.
I never even tried.
Try. And what you said was key, though, because like you say that, you regret not starting earlier,
mm-hmm.
but had you started earlier, you wouldn't have the appreciation that you have for it now.
That's
so
true.
You're like, I could be doing this shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I hated that. So
yeah.
now I get to do what I love.
Yeah, exactly. And that is very true, because that was another thing about me when I first started working, bro. Like, I finally when I first got out there on my own, there was no one to wake me up and say, hey, you need to be at work. You know what I mean? There was no one that, like, if I stayed home from school, was going to be like, why the hell are you home from school? There was no one to do that. So it was like, whenever I woke up and I didn't want to go to work, I'm sick. You know what I'm saying? If I had friends that were hanging out, I'm sick, and it kind of got me in that where I didn't respect my job. I didn't care about it. You know what I mean? I thought that, I thought you could pretty much skate through life. And then now here I am 26. You can skate through life, but it just ain't very fun.
Yeah.
It ain't very fun just skating through life, especially when you're doing things that you don't really like doing,
Right.
Like you said, I'd much rather skate through life doing something that I love and barely making it by than skate through life freaking giving 40 hours to some dickhead every week.
And the key is to give it your all and blow it up so you can live a lavish life doing what you love.
There you go. And that's the key, man. So how do you think reality right now in today's time has either failed or exceeded? I mean, I know you say you didn't really have a whole lot of expectations, but at least what you thought was going to happen, how do you think that has either failed or exceeded that?
Well, I mean, we went from, I said, if we could do 10 grand and I end up with 3,000 profit or whatever.
Yeah.
We in a matter of time, we were crushing that expectation.
Right.
And now it's just like, if I made 10 grand next month, I'd cry. I guess I had very vague, like, this would be great or whatever kind of expectations.
Yeah.
But any goal that I set, my team crushes.
Yeah.
If I tell them we need to do something, even if there's a little like, that's dumb or whatever, and we have to have a little talk. Sometimes I forget that some people need explanation for why things need to be done.
I'm one of those people too. I like to be like, why,
Yeah,
and not
too.
only,
Me too.
Yeah. Not only just because like I always think my way is better, but sometimes I truly want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we doing it this way as opposed to the way that I think, it should be done? Like, explain to me, what's the purpose of doing this?
Yeah, and a lot of people managers take that the wrong way. You're asking why? How should I have to explain well, you want to develop people and you want to grow people. That's key to business, man. It's key to life.
Right.
Sometimes you have to explain yourself or explain why this needs to be done or what the expected outcome is. But I have a team now that just like we set a goal or I set a goal or we set goals together, we crush them, bro. It doesn't matter what it is. We can be like, we want to sell this many pieces. We want to make this much money. We want to move this many shoes. And if they want to do it, sometimes it takes a little motivation.
Yeah.
A lot of times it doesn't. They just want to do it.
Right.
Everyone here wants to be the best at what we do.
Yeah.
And so we crush every goal we set. So.
How important is it, do you think, to the success of the Racks that your team has contributed? Because the success of anything big, you have to have a solid team. No one man can do, anything that is great. Nobody can do it alone. So how important do you think it has been, and how instrumental do you think your team has been into growing this into the monster that it's become?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I spent, so the first probably, I guess we're a little over 2 years old. The first 18 months was kind of rough because I was still working my full-time job.
Gotcha.
And like putting this together and using my team to like basically run it.
Yeah.
And so I had to lean on them, and it was rough at times because there's this like dissension, I guess, or almost like resentment, like, well, you're not even here and this and that.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I want it to succeed. Most businesses fail within 18 months, 24 months. And as long as I can work my job, bringing home good money as a inside salesperson, I have financial backing to throw at the business and make sure it succeeds long term, not just short term. So having a good team was just crucial. It had to be. Because like I said, I wasn't here for the longest time. I was here when I could be, but I was running myself ragged, man. I was miserable. Working basically 65, 70, 80 hours a week. Just killing myself.
That's hard shit right there.
Yeah.
So like back at to the old location, man, what were some of your greatest memories at that location, man? Because I know for me, one of my greatest memories at that location was definitely that pop-up event that you guys did that we were just talking about before we got started. That was just so much fun, man. It was like the first time that you went to an event that, although like it was like a non-professional vibe that you enjoyed, you know what I mean? Like, not in a bad way, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like you guys said, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be an event where you're going to have the nice tables and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But it was one of my favorites because it felt like you was just kicking it with the boys, hanging out, and you still were able to make some money. Like, that's the best, you know what I'm saying? I hate going to these big events that have the nice big building. They got the concession stand. They got everything you need, but it's boring. It's stale.
Like
there's nothing happening.
Or something.
Everybody's just walking around. It's quiet, you know, like that event was fun, you know what I mean? Like we had lots of fun. We had some drinks. We had, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of smoke and stuff, and it was just a good time. Like, so that was one of my favorite memories for me. What were some of your favorite memories?
I think, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Every block party we threw, and probably honestly like the one we did that was like Travis's birthday party, where like Travis came from OKC or wherever the hell he was at the time, and just all the homies came in from, I mean, we had people from Missouri, Kansas, Texas, OKC, all here for this goofy block party that we did in, dead end corner of downtown. And every one of those were an absolute blast. One of them, I was fairly inebriated and challenged Matt, Big Body, to a wrestling match, and just got waxed in the middle of the racks, like in the bottom floor, whatever you call it. It just whooped my ass straight up. That was a good memory. Tons of them, man.
All right, man. So now it's time, to kind of get into some of the stuff that maybe some of the people came to see, So as most of us know, you came to this new location with a partner. So I just want to get kind of your side of the story of, maybe why that relationship, ended up having to be severed. Just give whatever you want to give. If you don't want to go into detail, don't feel obligated. Just what do you say, was kind of your side of things on why that relationship worked. And
well, Travis came before we were here. Travis came probably, I don't know, maybe a year into the rack, something like that. And he wasn't in a great situation. You talked about it on your pod. So he wasn't in a great situation, and I've always had like a crazy amount of love for Travis. So and the dude's a hustler, and like like we talked about the obsession. Dude's obsessed with it. So I was like, that's kind of what I need, is someone who's as obsessed with it as I am to come in. But I think ultimately probably the answer to your question is that obsession. Just both of us, just like that saying, like you can't see the forest for the trees, We're both just so obsessed with it that we're not even capable of expressing what our visions are to each other, to the point where,
or even comprehending each other's vision, because you're so obsessed that like you want your vision, you know what I mean? Like, I'm obsessed with this, I'm doing, you know what I mean, this is my vision, and the other guy is like in the exact same energy, and I'm sure that's kind of it's hard to map out and stuff. And
Trav was never happy in Tulsa. I mean, he doesn't really like know people here, and yada yada yada. So that was almost inevitable that he would want to move back to the city and all that. But like I said, being at work all the time, not being able to be here, it put so much pressure on him and Davis both. And there was there was felt like a decent amount of like resentment there, and it went both ways. It was I wasn't here when he needed help.
Yeah.
He got to do all the fun stuff, and I'm stuck at work.
Yeah.
You know, so it was both. It was him being mad at me for something I felt was good for the business.
Yeah.
Me being honestly kind of jealous of him living out my dream here in the store while I'm trying to financially back it elsewhere. Right. So it wasn't anything. I don't feel like anything horrible. It was just he needed. I said to Maddie, Travis is a wild stallion, and he needs his own field to run in.
Yeah, it's
you know, and you know that about Travis. So there's no.
And, you know, sometimes that's just what it is, you know. I mean, I know a lot of people are probably waiting for some juicy, you know what I'm saying, oh, he did it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But sometimes it's just some relationships, you know, just like a partner relationship, a girlfriend and boyfriend, you know, sometimes things just don't work out, you know. Sometimes people, you know, things may start good, you know, relationship may, you know, seem like it's gonna, you know, be the best thing ever, but once things starts getting in there, you know, it just may not be the best situation. And sometimes it's better for two people to split, you know what I'm saying, and do their own thing and to help them grow, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that you guys both learned a lot from that. What would you say you kind of learned from having that relationship and having that partner with you?
I don't know. That's tough to draw a couple specifics.
Yeah.
I definitely learned a lot. Not that Travis got to benefit from it, but a lot about communication. And I think Davis is probably the person who benefited the most being here post Travis.
Right.
I learned a lot more about just being open, regardless of if it's going to hurt somebody's feelings and listening. You know, just hear what people are saying. Don't just listen.
Yeah.
You know, but that's probably it. Probably the communication factor.
The biggest thing,
is the biggest takeaway from that. I think if Travis and I think we're both beasts at this.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe had we been able to communicate better, we'd have a store in Oklahoma City and a store here, and you know, whatever. But who knows? I mean, Oklahoma City's popping off.
Yeah, it is, man.
I almost feel sorry for dude. I'm like, bro, you got more competition.
You know, and that's the bad thing about Oklahoma City is everybody wants to be there, you know, and it's getting so saturated. And I'm like, and it's kind of crazy to me because I'm like, why is nobody like, they're not even touching Tulsa. They don't even think, and, you know, and it's good for the people that are already here. But I'm like, it's weird, you know, because it's like so much saturation going on down there.
Well, they have. I mean, someone opened a store in Broken Arrow.
Yeah. And
good dudes, real friendly dudes. But, I mean, I think they closed the store in like 2 or 3 months of being open. Well, it's July now. Yeah, I think they're open for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, you have to love it and have to be obsessed with it for it to succeed.
Right. So where do you think that relationship with you guys stands now?
Trav came and visited when we turned 2 years old and we had our thing. We've talked a little bit, but we really honestly haven't talked that much since. I just think, I don't know. It's one of those things that's going to take some time to.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question. Do you think that there's a path to mending that relationship?
Yeah, any relationship can be mended.
Right.
But I mean, it's just we're just kind of on two separate tracks of life right now, and there will be a time where we come together and spend some time with each other. I'm sure. Like we're both vending DFW SwapCon, and our booths are probably 30 feet from each other. Right. So we'll probably do some hanging out or talking or something. But
that's good.
I don't, you know, it's not healthy to harbor any resentment or anything like that. I'm not gonna. We probably both have some of that stuff, but we both, like you said earlier, we both have such a great respect for each other as far as just the hustle and everything. And I don't know. I guess he's got a Josh and Pat there now, and he's building a good little team. It's probably the size of his store, like a 3 or 4 person crew would rock that shit, you know? And we've built a really solid team here. Davis and I have way better communication than we did before, when it kind of felt like it was like when 3 girls get together, and when there's 3, there's always like a clique and drama.
Yeah.
That's almost how it felt like. And it's silly to talk about and silly to think that we're 3 grown men that just bickered and fussed like teenagers or whatever. Looking back, it's just dumb.
Some Mean Girls type of attitude going on.
for sure. And so, Davis and I had a lot of mending to be honest. Like, just we're on the same page now.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time.
Right.
Travis
so like
sit down or something.
After that, and now it's just like you go back to being the Racks. Like, how do you move forward from that? You know what I mean? Like, how does the Racks move forward after losing a partnership or something like that?
Travis's big thing was shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into shoes at all.
Mm-hmm.
I could give a shit about shoes.
Yeah.
Trav, when he came, was like, bro, you can't. If you're gonna be doing this clothing game, like, you're the store owner, you gotta have some sneakers so you don't look like a chump. So, I hit up Deadstock 405. Shout out Sky, love you, Uncle Sky. I hit him up. I bought like my first pair of expensive sneakers from Sky.
Yeah.
But the sneaker game was probably the scariest thing to move on with, because when we built this store, I built like the sneaker wall that we have, the sneaker desk for Travis specifically. Right. And then I'm like, shit, we're stuck doing something I don't care about.
That you don't even care about, yeah.
We brought in a couple sneaker dudes to kind of take his place.
Yeah.
Charlie sells shoes, awesome kid. Prices just like, if you want sneakers, bro, for a steal, that's the dude.
Yeah.
JCB Tulsa on IG, brought him in. This dude's collection of shoes is nutty.
Yeah.
Like, we had to expand our shoe wall. We added 6 feet to the shoe wall.
Right.
Like, and now, Charlie's doing his own thing, but JCB's still here, and we're just rocking the shoes. The shoes and the streetwear were the scariest thing to me, but I leaned on Davis because Davis knows streetwear, and I think, to me, the streetwear side of it was what really made me like, okay, Davis is good at this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to trust him to guide me in the right direction on this stuff. Like, I know vintage like the back of my hand, don't know sneakers, don't know streetwear, but he's, my Venmo's logged in to the iPad. I'm like, Davis, someone brought in streetwear. Look at it. He does the buying, kills it with the negotiations. We've got good streetwear. We've got insane sneakers. And so just building a good team was the key.
Was the key to moving forward. Yeah.
Improving the team was the key to moving on from that. So.
Gotcha. So let's talk about this new spot a little bit more, man. Like, how long have you been here at this new location now?
October 1st of last year.
Uh-huh.
So what's that? About 10 months at this spot. So killer, man.
Dude, it seems like it's been a little bit. It seems like it's been longer than that too, man. It seems like y'all have been here for a while. I guess you guys just got so settled in, it's like seemed from day one. A lot of times whenever people get new stores, it's kind of bare and stuff, bro. I remember that grand opening, man. We walked in here and this place was packed out. Not only was it packed with people, but it was packed with clothes. That was the most surprising thing to me, because going from such a smaller location to this, I was, expecting to be like, a few racks in the middle, you know what I'm saying? Just guys getting started. But we walked in here and like, it was like, oh shit, where do we start? Bro, there's so much shit. And even now, like, coming in here today, I'm thinking the same thing. Like, holy shit, there's so much more shit in here now.
We've got shit, bro. Like, it's man, I'm so blessed to have the girlfriend that I have who's so patient and understanding, because I've, again, shout out Deadstock, Sky. I'll go out to Sky's and bring a literal truckload of vintage home. I will clear his garage and bring, and I tell him every time, I'm like, man, my girlfriend's going to dump me one of these days when I come home with all, because I come home and I'll arms full, bringing it in the house.
And she's like, clothes.
She's like, God, you got a lot. I'm like, oh, I'll be right back. And I'm like, in and out. She's like, Jesus Christ, man.
So what made you decide, like, this was the place for the future? You know, did you look at other places? You looked at a bunch of them.
Did I?
Yeah.
Shout out my landlord.
Yeah.
Mordhorse Properties. He's a G.
Yeah.
No, we found a spot over on 18th in Boston that we were kind of in love with, right across from Mercury Lounge. And that landlord, like, they jerked me around for months, bro. Serious, 3 or 4 months of just arguing, going back and forth. They're wanting these spreadsheets of this and profit this and margins this and blah. I'm like, bro, we sell old clothes. We're clearing 20 grand in a closet, bro.
Yeah.
Like, in a closet. There's no windows.
We're going to pay the rent.
There's no nothing, bro. I can pay this rent with my eyes closed.
Right.
Put us over here with some traffic.
Yeah.
They just wanted more and more, and they had no faith in us whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I guess it's a sign. And my friend called me about this spot and was like, hey, there's a spot over here, you should check it out.
Yeah.
And I drive by and I'm like, this is a little run down. There's the sketchy massage parlor next door. I'm like, do I want to be next to like a alleged rub and tug?
Yeah,
you know, like, what's going on?
Alleged.
And I'm like, I don't know. And then another girl who's a reseller was like, hey, have you seen that spot? I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. Like, why would I want to be next to this massage parlor thing? A third girl, a third reseller, like, told me about it. I'm like, there's bars on the windows.
Oh, why do all these? Hold on a second. Why do all these resellers know about this spot right next to the massage parlor?
I don't know, bro. Maybe the dispo across the street. Maybe.
Okay, yeah, we'll chop it up.
There's a Bill and Ruth's. You know, whatever. About the sixth person who told me about this spot within a month. I'm like, why am I getting all these texts? Like, are these people in on this shit? They're gonna cut. Like, I was like, I guess I'll go check it out. Happened to drive by here, and there's a maintenance dude in here. The doors were open. I came in. I think he's drunk, honestly, like painting walls. Like, he's got beer cans all over. I'm like,
just
this
came from
guy's
the massage
wild.
parlor.
And then, just came from the massage parlor, all relaxed. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's kind of shady, but at the same time, I'm like, if the landlord's got this dude in here doing maintenance, he's probably pretty chill.
Right.
So I went and I called him and all that. He was supposed to meet me up here. No-showed.
Yeah.
My God, here we go.
Here we go again, yeah.
So I just drove up to his office. Nicest dude, was so chill. I was like, so you want this much for it, X amount? And he's like, tell you what, I'll give you $250 off. I'm like, oh, I didn't even ask for that, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't even
know. And so I was like, you know what? Right off 15th, lots of traffic. Let's do it.
Yeah. Man, that's dope, man. That's a cool story, man. For the people out there, though, that's like thinking about starting their own business, like, what was like that? How do you think that like process affected? You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of do you think it kind of helped did it kind of discourage you from wanting to do it even? Or
man, everything's discouraging.
Yeah,
it's like when you're afraid of doing something, you're looking for excuses more than you are looking for the opportunities.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll just stay in the old location. Maybe we'll just cap ourselves out at this. And all these landlords are dicks, and none of us, me, Davis, Travis, like, we're all so laid back and just, we're not professional at anything, man. We're good at what we do, but we're just lax about it.
Gonna be yourself,
And so all these like big shot property owners, they want this and they want that and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, I'm not a freaking Excel spreadsheet expert. Like, I don't know what you want from me. I can give you profit, and I can give you expenses. Do with it as you will. So it made me. It was super discouraging. But I think for someone who wants to start a business, it's like, dude, just barrel through that shit. And once you're past it, you're past it. Like, now, like, the landlord loves me, and we pay our rent early. Like, he loves us. I mean, I feel like I bother him every once in a while about some maintenance or something, but for the most part, we take care of everything ourselves for the most part, and he loves us.
Right.
I'll tell anybody. Like I said, I was 37 years old when I pulled the trigger on my dream. Yeah. And I'll tell anybody, like, don't be like me. Don't waste your time. Learn from, I guess, your elders, or whatever. Like, I don't want to call myself an elder, but, for a 20-year-old kid or whatever, like, I've lived twice as long as you.
Right.
Like, just do the shit,
just
man.
do the shit.
And if you fail at it, you failed at it. Big deal,
Yeah.
man. And move on to something else, man.
Yeah.
I failed at so much shit along the way, man.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 clothing brands we started up.
Right.
We felt like we were doing okay. We made some few commas or whatever here and there, but ultimately fail
Right.
until this. And, you know, 2 years old, like I said, most businesses have failed by their 2nd birthday.
Right.
So I feel like we're on the right track.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And that's such an important lesson too, to like teach, you know, to tell people, because it's such a, it almost seems like a cliche thing to say, you know, just keep going, but it is so true, you know, because I'm in that stage right now where I'm having to tell myself, like, you just got to keep going, you know. No, I know you don't see the light yet, but you got to keep 100%. Going, because, you know, I feel like I've been doing this for not a long time, but I've done it for a good amount of time, and it's like not seeing any money coming in, not seeing any, and it's sometimes it really does, you know. I'm like, nobody wants to come on the pod, you know, I can't get big guests, you know, I can't do this, I can't do that, you know, how do I continue to move forward? But it's like, you just got to keep putting your foot forward. Like even today, you know, like you said, you're kind of looking for excuses, you know. Sometimes like today, like I was just kind of feeling a little shitty, you know, all day at work. I'm just like, oh fuck, I gotta shoot this pod, and I'm like, I should just reschedule. And then I'm just like, nah, you can't. Like, you gotta just keep going. Like, you know that you need this episode, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got an episode that needs to come out soon, like you gotta get to it. And so it is such an important lesson for everyone that is, you know, thinking about doing something for themselves. Like, it ain't gonna be easy, you know. And if it is easy, you know, anything that, what is the saying, like anything easy is not worth having, or something like that. Or
everyone hates on me because I like G-Eazy, the rapper. I know, so whatever. But he says in one of his songs, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Exactly.
And I feel that every single day of my life.
Yeah. And it's you know, you want to get it to that point where you make it look easy, but it's never, you know what I'm saying, easy as easy as people think. You know, I'm sure a lot of people probably watch these pods and probably think we just come in here, sit down, and just start talking. You know what I mean? But like, you seen me, you know,
bro,
what I'm
you
saying?
Busted your ass for like an hour.
An hour just to set this thing up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then I gotta go home and edit. You know what I mean? There's so much to it, and I'm sure the same with you. People probably just walk in here and think, you know, you just put a bunch of clothes on the rack.
Yeah,
but like
100%.
There's so much to, like, the curation, you know, the way you lay it out, you know, the way that you want it to look and everything. Like, there's so much to it. The content side of it, the running, you know what I'm saying, promoting it. Because I think nowadays, bro, it's almost impossible to have to start a business without social media. It's not impossible, but it's getting
not the
close.
Smartest
you know?
move.
You said what?
I said it's not the smartest move.
It's
like,
not the smartest move. Yeah. It's hard to
we live off social media. We don't even have a legit website, man.
Right.
We just live off Instagram.
Off Instagram, yeah. And that's how, I mean, even at Tinto's, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people know, you know what I'm saying, there's no website there, you know, but like our Instagram, you know, is how we stay relevant. You know, one of the ways that we stay relevant, you know, of course, being in the mall and stuff like that as well, you know, and having that good location.
Built-in traffic in the mall, man.
Yeah, there's definitely some good traffic in there. But like, just having that social media presence is so freaking like important to like staying relevant. How do you think, like, social media, do you like the social media side of it? Do you kind of deal with it? Do you take part in that, or do you kind
Davis
of
does 90% of the social media. I mean, we post on the story sometimes. He's got a very specific look, I guess, that he wants to wants to achieve.
Right.
So we bickered back and forth for a long time, I'm not gonna lie, and then I was just like, you know what, I'll accept it. It's one less thing I have to do. Ultimately, what am I thinking? Why am I mad that he wants to take ownership of something? Plus, it gives him that pride. Like, he owns the Instagram and he kills it. So,
he does. I mean, I do like a lot of the content, like the Racks put. I like that aesthetic that he does. It feels like it ties into the Racks very well. You know, it has a vintagey kind of feel to it. So I like whenever I look at the Racks, you see something from the Racks and you know, like, this is a vintage store. You know, you can tell by the way it looks. It looks like vintage. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So kind of gonna get off track here a little. Oh no. Actually, I wanted to talk about, like, now that you do have the place, you guys do have the room. I mean, we got a lot of room in here and stuff. let's talk about some of the things that you've been able to do, like for the community, such as like the comedy shows and things like that. Like, how has that kind of had an impact on the store and the business?
Man, it killed it. It hurt me more than people would know.
Yeah.
Moving here and not being able to do like the block party
Yeah.
stuff, because we got to give back to a lot of vendors. I'm not gonna lie. When we did the block parties, you would cook way more than we did. People wouldn't even come in this store, and they just flat out tell us, like, I can come to your store any day. I'm just going to shop all these vendors.
Yeah.
So it was great being able to put all of the local resellers on.
Right.
So it killed us for a while, not being able to give back. But
yeah,
I think it was Evan Hughes approached us about a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, I don't know, like, people going to come, like, whatever. We do it once a month now, and killed it, man. Yeah. Like, Evan and all of his friends, and I mean, it's fun, man. Like, we do it typically on a Thursday night. Midwest BJ put one or two on from 105, but they're great. We do them all free, you know. I go, shout out Pie Hole Pizza. I go next door and buy a bunch of pizzas.
Yeah.
You know, BYOB, just chill, drink, free pizza, free drinks, whatever. The comics get a little bit of exposure and all that stuff.
Right.
So that's been great for them. We've done one or two pop-ups just kind of in like the side lot. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to do those a little heavier when fall comes and it's not, 400 degrees outside.
Dude, yeah.
It was received really well, and the sellers that did it, they had a blast. So when the weather's good, I mean, we want to be able to use the space to put other local people on. Right. We do. We've been doing a pop up with Till Death Permanent Jewelry, mm-hmm. and they do like the anklets and all that stuff. Okay. They set up in here. We've done a few things like that, but we're starting to grow more towards getting back to those roots, kind of.
So now, like, where do you think like the direction of the Racks is going? Like, what's next for the Racks? What can the people expect to see from the Racks as we kind of get here to the end of the pod here? What can we expect to see in the future?
Couple pipe dreams, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, if the massage parlor were ever to be gone,
that massage. Well, they might go somewhere eventually. You know what I mean? Yeah, I ain't gonna say why they gonna go somewhere, but
my goal is to get that space and have a sneaker store. So the sneakers aren't just a part of the Racks.
That'd be cool.
We have a sneaker store and the Racks, and it's in one building.
Right.
Bust out part of that wall, and you can go back and forth between sneaker store and this. That I really want to open a location out south.
Okay.
Near the mall. There's this spot that I don't know why it's been open for as long as it's been open, but I've had my eyes on it for a long time.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd really like to sign the lease on that by the end of the year and have, the Racks out south and one in Midtown. That's kind of the goal. Eventual goal, 10 years down the line, is to have 5 or 6 different locations.
5 or 6 different.
This is weird, but my favorite city in the U.S. is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I love it.
Yeah, you said that you were a big Steelers fan at the beginning.
Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, everything.
You really?
I've got some family up there.
Oh, okay.
I love it up there.
Yeah.
I'd really like to open a store up there, and if not for anything else, an excuse to go up there.
Yeah.
But they're killing it up there. Like, they've got Monarch Studios, Branded and Butler, a bunch of really good stores and really good resellers, and a really cool scene up there.
Yeah.
Plus all the sports, and it's fun up there. It's beautiful too.
Yeah.
So that's a goal, probably about a 5-year goal.
Right. All right, man. Well, man. Oh, okay. I got one last question for you. One last question. If you could see one person on the pod, who would it be?
Slobby Robbie.
Slobby Robbie. Who's that? Whoever you say, also, you got to help us get him on there, man.
Shit. All right. So, local smaller person, let's say Sky, Deadstock 405, would be an absolute hoot on a podcast, bro.
Okay.
Like, he's like our, I'm kind of the old man, but Sky's like 2 years older than me, so we give him the shit for being like Uncle Sky,
Yeah.
He'd be great. Slobby Robbie out of Arizona, Slobby's World on Netflix was a show about his vintage clothing store. Generation Cool is what it's called.
Okay.
He's a wild dude. He's a character.
He has a show on Netflix?
Yeah, he did. He did. I think they took it off. It was Slobby's World.
Slobby's World? You can probably find it somewhere, though, huh?
Yeah. An ultimate pipe dream to see on the pod would be, of course, Shaun Witherspoon, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
That'd be lit.
Round 2 of the show was like, when I discovered round 2 of the show on YouTube, was when I was doing a bunch of pop-ups, and I discovered round 2, and I watched it like it was not like it was a show. I watched it like it was a tutorial.
Yeah.
And I took notes on it.
Yeah.
Like a weirdo, bro. Yeah. And I was like, I am going to open a store.
Right.
These guys are fucking awesome.
Right.
I'm gonna make this happen. And that was probably at that point like my biggest motivation. And then Generation Cool came out, and I was like, this dude's hilarious. Like, the joke was that I was gonna be Slobby Robbie for Halloween last year, but you'll have to look him up, bro.
Yeah, because I have no clue who that is. I'm like,
hilarious, dude. Like,
seems like a funny name, Slobby Robbie.
Yeah, but as for locals, get Sky on the pod. Sky would be hilarious, man.
I have to reach out. Cause I don't even know who that is. I never met him before.
You don't know Sky? Sky's a sneaker reseller who got into vintage. Like, he did sneakers and streetwear. That was like his passion.
Gotcha.
And he got into vintage, and bro, he's the GOAT when it comes to sourcing.
Yeah.
He's got a 2-car garage that looks like a rag house.
Really?
And we go out there and just he's the plug, man.
Yeah.
And he's hilarious because he tries to put people on, these younger cats explaining stuff.
Yeah.
And he gets all frustrated.
Yeah.
He would be
That's funny. That's how a lot of those older guys are. You know what I mean? They just want to give the knowledge, bro. And a lot of these young cats out here, they don't care about that. They think they know everything. You know, I was that way, you know what I'm saying? When I was growing up. Now I'm 26 now, so I'm finally like starting to realize, like, yo, these old cats, these old heads, they got a lot of knowledge, you know what I mean?
We've been through the shit. We've been through all the shit, you know? And it's the same. I mean, my mom, grandpa, you know, all that stuff. Like, they'd been through the shit. Right. You know, your parents tried, or whoever your adult, you know, your figures in your life, they're older. They've been through this shit. People tell you to do stuff or not to do stuff for a reason. It's not. They're not just talking to talk. You know. Yeah. But that's how everyone, for the longest, and maybe me still to this day, we all think we know everything. Yeah. You know, until you get to the point where, again, listening is important. When you can shut up and really hear what people are telling you and visualize it, that's when you start building yourself.
Right.
You know?
Well, guys, that's going to be the end of the pod today, guys. We had a really great time with you guys today. My freaking computer literally just died, so our microphones aren't even working right now. So we're going strictly off these mics right here. But, hey, we appreciate you guys for staying tuned, for watching, for listening, however you consume the pod today. Again, we had Shaun from the Racks here in Tulsa. Go ahead and just shout the people out where the people can find you, where they can pull up to. And if you guys can't hear it, I'm going to put everything that he says in the description.
You want me to yell it? I can yell.
Go ahead, just make sure that they hear it.
All right, we're at 2646 East 15th Street. I guess kind of the hood side of Cherry Street. Yeah, you can't miss it. At the Racks Tulsa on IG. At JCB Tulsa to see our sneakers, or jcbtulsa.com to see our sneakers. Vintage is one-on-one, so it's not online anywhere. But yeah, and shout out Pie Hole Pizza, Deadstock, Davis, JCB, Brandy, Casey, Prester, everybody, the whole crew, everybody. Shout out.
Gang. Hey, man. That's the end of the pod today, man. We appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that follow. We'll see you guys next week for another episode. We out. Dope, bro. Cool. Killed that shit, man. Hell yeah, bro.